G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. Today I'm with Deacon and his EK Civic, and we're going to be doing some Max Peating Rods coilovers install. But you'll notice he's got some really fat meaty rubber on there with some pretty sick wheels. There's Team Dynamics and they stick out on all four corners. So we're going to lower the car and roll the guards. I bought myself an eBay guard roller. Hopefully it's easier to use than it was putting it together because it came with no real instructions, but we're gonna roll the guards. We've got a heat gun and then we're gonna lower it. This isn't a sponsored Max Peating Rods video because Deacon actually bought these coilovers himself, but I am wearing a new Max Peating Rods hoodie that they sent me, so may as well show that off. Stick around, we're gonna roll the guards and slam his ride. So for anyone wondering, these wheels are 7 by 16 and it says H2 ET9. I'm trying to find where it's clearly written the offset. Definitely not 2 offset and definitely not 9 offset, but they're definitely a very wide offset and I can't find anything clearly. Hopefully one of the other rooms will say what they are. So we did a test run on the front driver's side guard and you can see we've flared it out quite a bit. It's nice and rounded. There is a bit of, I don't know why, but just here on this corner it sort of kinked a bit and I'm very, very disappointed with that. Kind of sucks. We do need to cut out the inner guard, so what we're going to do is just cut it across here and the same on the front, so we can still keep the benefits of having the inner guards, but when the car's slammed it's not going to rip them out and destroy everything. So I'm just going to cut those now and then we'll test it out and see what she looks like, and hopefully once it's lowered and cambered and flared on the guards that it's going to tuck a bit of tyre and should be okay, not so defectable. So we're going to give that a crack now. I'm really disappointed in that, but there wasn't much we could do. We've got the heat gun on it, the Makita, nice and warm, got everything. So minimal paint cracking, a little bit of a wrinkle there, but that's because that area sort of stuffed up. Otherwise the rest of it didn't crack. So yeah, coilovers in, cut the guards out, lower it down, see what it looks like. So wheels on, guards are rolled, and it is absolutely freaking slammed. The fitment is almost perfect. That is flush as hella flush. I'll show you the other side. So sticks out. And then we've got about 1.5 inches at least between the tyre and the guard. Got the pod filter mods. So we'll get over and do the other side now. So I don't know if it's more experience or just better metal or better heating job or whatever it was, but this side turned out mint so far, nice and flared. So it's just a matter of bolting that on and then setting up the wheel on the right angle and just going side to side, nice and smooth, and then you can crank it out here and actually pushes out on the guard. So real simple to use, anyone can do it, and we got really good results. Just under here what I've done is, just wait for the light, is I've trimmed the inner guard liner here, so I've still got the mud flap there to stop majority of the dirt flicking through, and same on this side. But all up here where the wheels are definitely going to rub, we've taken that out, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So check this out. This car's actually a GLI hatch, which means it has the exact same brakes in the back as an EK4. Nice side skirts. It's got the EK4 front brakes, and also I forgot to show you guys, but it's actually got front sway bar, and on the inside it's got power windows, all factory standard, and a tacho. So a lot of jealous hatch boys with drum brakes, no tacho. This one is a GLI, so if you're looking to buy one, get yourself a GLI because it's got all the stuff for EK4. Only let down Dirty D16 Y4, not even a VTEC. They should have put a VTEC Y8 in there, and this would have been a sick bargain. Kind of like an EJ8, but in the hatchback form. On to rolling the rear guards. On the rear guards, what we need to do is pull out this scummy bit of rubber trim, nice and easy. And then we've got to roll this up. It's probably going to be a little bit harder because this is sort of two pieces of steel pressed together, and they've sort of got little spot welds on them. We'll have to give it a bit of a whack first. Heaps of heat, slowly, but we should get there. You can see it's already been scrubbing a bit, and this thing was riding like a 4x4, so definitely going to need that guard rolling. So we'll just take a break from lowering Deacon's car and we'll get into answering some of your YouTube questions. So the first question comes from Bassam IQ. This is referring to my Mrs. CU2 Honda Accord Euro, where we put a PLM downpipe and a high flow cat on the car. Questions: did the car actually feel better or faster? I've got the same car and I was actually thinking of straight pipe and muffler delete, but I've never seen a modified exhaust on the same car, so I don't know. Well, Bassam, anytime you do a high flow cat and free up restrictions in the exhaust of an NA car, you're definitely going to get more pickup and more power and more top end. Most of the restrictions on modern cars, so cars after sort of the year 2000, most of the restrictions are in the front half of the exhaust, which is where all the emissions and things happen. So on that particular car, the Honda Accord, it has two massive cat converters and they're very, very restrictive. So yeah, definitely got a big power increase there. So definitely worth doing. If you have a Honda Accord Euro, I can recommend replacing the downpipe. Now the PLM one, because this is Australia and everything is backwards and upside down compared to the US, there was a few little modifications that needed to be done, but definitely worth doing the mod, so I can highly recommend it. The next question comes from Focal Polyglass. Now this is one that a lot of people ask about on all the forums and a lot of people think about. I'll read the question out, then I'll give my answer. Sorry for my silly questions, but if I want to make an impressive power increase of 25 to 30% over and above stock on an NA small engine, but only with a simple mod upgrade, what are my suggestions? I'm thinking of a bigger throttle body, upgrading the fuel pump on stock injectors. Will that make a noticeable power increase and still maintain efficiency when I drive slow daily? So this one, a lot of people ask on all sorts of forums if they can get good horsepower out of their naturally aspirated small 4-cylinder like a 1.6. Considering most of my viewers here are in the D16 or B16 range, on a 1.6 litre naturally aspirated car, doing an air intake, an exhaust, high flow cat, and a bigger throttle body, it will make more power, but not much. So to do all that, your throttle body for the cheapest, dodgiest one's going to be at minimum $100. An exhaust is going to set you back. A proper one that's like tuned length headers, high flow cat, stainless steel or something like that, it's going to cost you about $1,500 minimum, and that's minimum. And you're probably going to pick up, you're probably actually going to lose power from say 1,000 to 4,000, and then you'll pick up a little bit of power from 4,000 to 6, 7 or 8,000 depending on what type of car you have. The gains though are going to be minimal, but one thing that people often feel like, and a lot of driving is in feel, noise, sound, revs, that feels like power and you're going to get a really good driving experience from that. You are never going to make 25 to 30% of a power increase on your stock naturally aspirated car with just a throttle body and intake and exhaust. No chance. You might pick up 5 or 10% overall power. Those days are gone. If you're going to stick with NA, and it's something I've been thinking of doing an NA build with a Little Rippers B16 engine, set of cams, adjustable cam gears. Definitely start with a twin cam if you're going to start to do an NA build. It's already got an intake manifold. We need a bigger throttle body at least. Probably change the extractors to tuned length 4:1 that are really long runners. For all top end, everything above VTEC, make it nice and lumpy. But even still, doing all of that, I'm probably going to pick up maybe 15% increase. And to put it into, you know, real world figures, say your B16 makes about 80 kilowatts at the wheels. You do cams, intake, exhaust, tune it, all that sort of stuff. You might, if you're very lucky, get that to 100 kilowatts. Probably not. It'll be a screamer. You have to do valve springs, retainers, all that sort of stuff as well to keep the revs high. Valve stem seals while you're going. It's a lot of work. Whereas if you had a D16 that probably makes 50 kilowatts, you can put a turbo on it for $1,000, give or take, and make 120 kilowatts. So it's a bit of a no-brainer. And that's the reason why I bugger around with D16 single cams. You spend around about $1,000 and you're getting quite a big increase. You're going from 50 kilowatts, give or take, to 100, 120 straight off the bat. And the cars love it, so that's why they call me Turbo Tristan. All right, so in this video, we are fitting some Max Peating Rods coilovers. Now, we've done shock dyno testing on these coilovers. We've established what we probably already knew is value for money. They are the best option to go for lowering your car and getting some kind of handling increase or performance handling benefit. The dyno results have proven that they are far from great, and they do need a lot of improvements. And you will see I am wearing a Max Peating Rods hoodie, which is freaking awesome. I actually really like this. The quality of this is really good. I can't complain with that. It's got a racetrack down there. Some pretty cool stuff on the side. It says on the back, solutions always you expected. So, you know, what could go wrong? Now, the reason why I mentioned that is not to shout out Max Peating Rods, although shout out to Max Peating Rods because they do support the poor guys like me and the guys that are, you know, on Struggle Street and just trying to get their cars, you know, improved, which they definitely do. So this comment comes from LNR Rides. So I've been considering these Max Peed coilovers for my stepson's 95 Eclipse. So he's obviously in America. Shout out to the Americans. I think we are going to buy some and then later when he starts working, upgrade to a nicer set. They have to be better than the stock blown out suspension that's currently in it. Thanks for the video. And that's the point of these Max Peating Rods coilovers. All of the cars that we're messing around with are about 20, 21, 25, some are even 30. This one's 40 something years old. The suspension that's in these cars is already pretty thrashed if you've still got the original stock shocks in there. So it's definitely an upgrade. It's definitely going to help you out. It's definitely going to get the car lower and handling better. And yes, as we've established in my 8 brands of coilovers on the shock dyno, which was a world first test. No one's shock dyno, not even Max Peating Rods have shock dyno their own shocks, which we did here on the Turbo Tristan channel. So we got some interesting results. Some of the more expensive brands that sell for 5, 6, 7 times more than the Max Peating Rods coils didn't do that much better. They were better, but not that much, not for 6 or 7 times the price better. If I was to choose any coilover in the world, hands down, I would go with Shockworks. What I've seen there is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to say it, they're the best in the world. Cannot argue with that. All the dyno figures, testing, the setup, the way they do that is the best. Just another update though on the channel, Max Peating Rods have sent me some leaked pictures of their new coilover design. I'm not going to share them with you guys because it's in confidence, but I can tell you they look amazing. They've stepped up their game. They've started to use some of the data that we did use in testing, and they're going to get better. So can't argue with that. Fantastic news. This one's just a shout out to Andrew Alves. I can't pronounce your last name, sorry buddy. All the way from Brazil. Nice video, man. And your channel is one of the best I follow in Honda's content. thanks very much. Shout out to all the Brazilians. This will be the last one because this has dragged on too much. We're gonna keep this up in all of our future videos, so keep writing those comments, keep liking and sharing the videos. This last one is from Jake Burgess. Loving the videos, man. I was going to do a motor swap in my EK, but you have made me want to give turboing the mighty D16 a go. I'm in Adelaide, Australia, and would definitely love to see you make a budget-friendly kit that's better suited to the Aussie Civics rather than the US ones that all the eBay kits are based off. So, Jake, it is coming. I'm a little bit time poor at the moment. I do want to let you know we have 7 brand new cars coming on the channel. You haven't seen any of them yet. These are totally new cars and they will be getting a lot of modifications, more than we've ever done before. So that is really, really exciting. I've got heaps and heaps going on in the background. I'm trying to turn this into a full-time gig. But anyway, that concludes comment section with Uncle Turbo. Back to the video, we'll finish off that car. I think you guys will be pretty impressed with how slammed it is and how we managed to squeeze those tires up under the guards. Mate, check that out. Absolutely slammed all the way around on all 4 corners, and those fat tires now tuck in. Partially to do with camber. When you lower Hondas, they kind of self-camber. What do you reckon, mate?
Perfect.
Yeah, slammed.
Yeah, slammed. Looking nice. And yeah.
Just how you wanted it?
Yep. Good job.
It's a clean car. Those wheel nuts are definitely on tight. You're shaking the whole car. That's all right. No need to over tighten them. Hook it. That's it. Nice, didn't scrape. Looks fat as. Enjoy, man. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to spool up. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Done.